will be, which can be quite tough because Pichu already struggles a bit to get in at times. And it's a character who has great keep away tools like Ness and generally great hitboxes. It can be quite a problem.
Quick attack can find openings in. Neutral air as well in those with the buff near the end of the game, and up air, right, being able to kind of cover some Pikachu. Pichu finds some active hitboxes, can find you some openings. We're seeing the reliance on that from Gil early here, but just not able to get the huge combos Pichu is known for, and instead having to opt for these kind of DI chase reset scenarios instead.
We've seen right now, we've seen a lot of nairs come out from Lil Dill, and it's getting really stale. But if that may, like, a lot of times this may be one of the few options that you have as Pichu to deal with this. Because that hitbox is pretty decent. Also, Pichu is just a very funny kid. He's just spinning around for his nair, and it's really funny to look at.
He sticks his ears out and everything. It's kind of adorable. Like, win or lose.
Pichu's such an awesome character. Like as a character, Pichu's sick. However, that's
and
not...
the animation when you get pummeled just... it's so adorable, but unfortunately... that adoration is going to take you all the way around the world on that yo-yo. Oh, still trying to find, not even find the first stock, but really find the first time you've put Grymlynn even more than a tad off stage.
Yeah, we've seen a few times where we've seen overextensions from Lil Dill too to try to kill him immediately, which also, look at that crowd.
I like the mix up there on that up special there from Ness to find a way down and apply a little bit extra shield pressure.
So that's dead. Grymlynn has been floating around really well after their air dodges. They were finding their ways back on the stage or just away.
I like these PK Fire scenarios, although that looked like a kind of a disjoint on the end of up tilt to not connect, but also it was just a very strange interaction all around. Gonna find the throw, not gonna find the DI you're looking for Thunder though, and instead just reset. Not in a position to find the jab reset, but you still get the tech chase, and Nick, Pichu might not be fast, but you're fast enough to at least close out the stock, but not the day.
Yeah, that was a bit ugly, to say the least. We saw that such an early stock being taken because it ended up on, so we saw the PK5 from Grymlynn to catch the tech, or like whatever the option out of the mistech from Lil Dill. Unfortunately, the beginning of it went through the invincibility, but the ending hit the actual back of Pichu, and that move sends out. So you consistently saw Pichu get moved further into the move, and at that point, that's the combo in an F smash because that does so much damage and knockback. Because it's not the greatest F smash in the world. However, in a character as light as Pichu with that rage that you have built up, Jesus Christ, I don't. Surprised the character didn't just instantly explode.
I was gonna say Pichu is the character that makes your F smash look good no matter who you are.
Yeah.
Right, and going to Smashville now. I understand like wanting less space, trying to force more of a scrap scenario here, but Ness kind of loves this stage sometimes, right? Very active hitboxes to kind of counter that scrapping and gets to juggle you for days, kill you early off back throw. Like that seems almost like heaven for a Grymlynn.
So ideally on a stage like this, as Pichu, you can kind of force Grymlynn to play the game. Because we've been seeing like Grymlynn is just running around a lot. You have all that open space on PS2. And on paper, you force him to interact. However, we've seen Grymlynn does not share that sentiment, and has been using down B movement around that middle platform to just constantly mix up where he is, and it is consistently getting around Lil Dill. I do like that. That's really good landings, and they're like you're pretty much instant on.
And not finding the bonk angle, but right after we were complimenting the PK Thunder angles, Nick. We caster cursed it, man. We caster cursed it because that one wasn't pretty.
Yeah, you were able to instantly you can cancel it and grab the ledge. However, we didn't see Grymlynn close enough to said ledge to grab it. And this is a lead for Lil Dill, which who knows how long it will last for. But you want this. If it comes down to like a back and forth, you have the advantage first end. And we're gonna see this bit of damage is being added up on Grymlynn, and not laying on the platform is really good there. I think you lost your jump.
Yeah, I like the crouch, just a little bit of wiggle on the movement, but keep Grymlynn guessing. Force out more of a commitment, burn those resources to find a better landing trap, managing to do so, and we're seeing Lil Dill get their first real ledge trap of the set so far.
Can't try to pressure that.
Oh no.
Yeah, but that was a nice little mix-up, and we've seen a few times. Grymlynn, that's the kill with down B. We've seen Grymlynn try to, you know, instantly cancel it, but deciding the full time just to go around, and you have a Lil Dill not shielding. Trip and not getting anything off of it though.
Yeah, just unfortunately a little too far away with some of these spacings to actually find the pressure. Or Trip for Pichu so good because down tilt able to find a reset, or you're able to pressure them off stage. But you just can find such good extensions off of it when your character is small that we haven't seen Lil Dill do so yet, and Grymlynn might only feel behind because of that SD, and even if they lose this game shortly, shouldn't feel bad about their performance.
Yeah, and that F smash just missing out would definitely take the stock right now. That move is strong. Oh, that's damage.
Yep. We've seen a lot of reliance on that up smash rather than the walk the dog down smash, which sends the other direction, just not wanting to pivot the down smash. However, maybe gonna find a way back to stage with a PK flash. I like the route, and that time walking the dog around the world's gonna do it. One stock apiece. Ness certainly capable of doing this.
That was 30%. That was at 30% right off the bat. And you're adding so much damage, just trying to find a hit. You're adding so much damage onto yourself. And you're in the percent where you will start to die soon. But don't try to punish that. We've seen a few times in Grymlynn. What do you good get up attack?
Yeah, we finally see the punish come out, right? 5 up smashes in. Up throw, gonna do it.
The platform. But the F tilt, just the poke of the foot. And that's gonna be Lil Dill evening up the set. That's such a convincing game one from Grymlynn.
And the whole crowd. The crowd just came alive for Lil Dill, Nick. You saw in the back, right? We saw one person clapping. But if you had turned around, if you could see just a slight extra pan, we have so many people who just kind of seeped out of the woodwork of this crowd to shout in favor of their boy taking game 1. However, you still have 2 more to go if you want to move on in this bracket if you're either player.
Yeah. That was a pretty good way to finish off that game, because you were starting to take a lot of damage and you were letting a Ness with Rage live as Pichu. So you're happy to take that game, but you have to focus up on how to finish the stock. Finish this set, because we've seen Grymlynn's adaptation. And at the end of the day, it's just do not get hit by Pichu Nair. And if you're able to move around Pichu a lot, such as using that, avoiding that Nair, which is Pichu's kind of main tool to deal damage without hurting themselves, you're kind of in the clear.
Speaking of in the clear, though, I'm surprised that this stage was in the clear and not banned by Lil Dill. I know Pichu can find some creative combo extensions on the platforms on this stage, but the side blast zones being so close mean that one grab from Ness kills Pichu at absurd %.
Yeah. But on the other end, that means if Pichu does have a bit of confirms into that back there, or even sometimes into the down beat, which could work really well with these smaller blast zones. One thing we just talked about the benefits of it for Ness, so it really just depends on who can get their win on first.
Yeah, it is a volatile stage, and now we see Lil Dill finding the counterplay to those downward PK rocket angles, which is intercept them before it hits.
Oh, you have to watch out there. So because your hitbox your upbeat doesn't deal any damage like the way Pika's up quick tag does.
It's a good move. It's just as good a movement tool, but not nearly as good a pressure.
Yeah, we're starting to see the early air dodges from Grymlynn, because Lil Dill's been going for those. That almost killed On Town. That will kill On Town.
And that did kill On Town, my friend, because it's gonna be Lil Dill down a stock here. Not out of it yet, and there's that back throw, or back air, sorry, closing it out. This game is dead even. We're seeing the volatility you mentioned earlier in full swing right now. And we're seeing a lot of these B-reverse PK fires from Grymlynn, not even to necessarily intended to find their mark, but just to kind of mix up the drift with different options for punishing it than the magnet would.
Yeah, when trying to see a little lightning loose, they're not going to be able to get them. But you're still putting on so much damage.
Yeah, that's 70% unanswered. That's just absolutely brutal.
This is scary.
But F Smash does still deal quite a lot to yourself. pushing you up over that 60% mark. And this is where Ness, with middling range, start to be literally 1 or 2 hits. We're at the point now where a back throw at ledge is going to kill people.
Get out of there, yeah. Good dash attack to apply damage, and that's so much pressure. You're fine though, now you're not, and you're gonna be able to live though. Getting around these upbeats is hard, but we're seeing Lil Dill being able to do it quite a little bit here.
I like the magnet movement from Grymlynn. It feels like they have a lot of the pieces, but just aren't always sure of how to put them together. Or it feels like their pieces with the Ness and the movement on when to throw certain aerials are there, but some of their fastball timings, some of they aren't, and they tend to lean on certain options heavily. Right, like this up smash. It's definitely their panic button. And right now, Lil Dill is taking full advantage of baiting it out and finding the mark.
Yeah, and that's the thing about a few characters do actually have good like punish tools to deal with Ness, the Ness yo-yo, but the only one we see from Pichu is those dash attacks.
Did you just see the head shake?
The head shake from Grymlynn, in the headphones. The headphones are off. So obviously that's bold because you're in enemy territory right now. You're taking off your headphones because you know you're getting no love here.
Man, there's nothing in the world I want more than to be able to do a hair flip like that. I'm not gonna lie.
Grymlynn's hair is amazing.
Really
this actually could have been it, but gonna let him back on the stage, but you're still applying that damage with that nair.
I like the patience now from Lil Dill, just waiting in shield against these aerial approaches, forcing Grymlynn to try and commit to a landing, being floaty, so they can still react to a fastball and get out of dodge. The drag down, not gonna find a stop.
This should be the stock.
Commitment, F smash, not gonna do it just yet. You're across that center line, so air dodge lets you live forever.
That's such an awful angle, and that's gonna be a punch. Back shouldn't take it, yeah.
Yeah, but the next one will at this point, Nick.
No, and it caught that only hit. Oh, you see the pop up from Grymlynn. That only hit because of the spot dodge animation. Because Pichu extends her body outwards a little bit. Yeah. If they just kept shielded, we're not connected. But unfortunately, that spot dodge, the animation to get them back in, that killed them.
Yeah, that was just kind of brutal. Unfortunately, at the worst possible moment. In just trying to pick what in any other scenario against most other characters in the game would be a great option, but the spacing, whether intentionally or not, absolutely perfect on the multi-hit to close it out. Lil Dill with potentially 1 game left in winner's side, and while Lil Dill is still calm and cool as a cucumber,
they did not mean to go here.
Or pick Steve.
Okay. My guess, Steve is dead. My guess is that Steve is potentially Grymlynn's FD counter pick, and he probably probably selected after. However,
and then
you can't.
Steve would ban.
Can't go Steve.
Yeah, that's a. I appreciate the leniency, I think, from the TOs in that scenario, right? Just saying, okay, let's reset the game.
Yeah, I mean,
you can't pick the character. We're not trying to,
game loss.
Exactly. We're not trying to DQ players just for picking a character they play. We want our players to play the game, believe it or not.
Yeah, and we're gonna hear the one-winged angel thing going on. Yeah, FD pick right now coming out. In this stage, once again, it can work well for Pichu because you can get your lightning loops a bit easier to do because there's nowhere for them to go. And like overall, it's just easier to catch and Ness is landing. However, the same can be said for Pichu, just due to the fact that Pichu sometimes just can't land.
Absolutely, Nick. We're seeing just the pressure come out here from Grymlynn just trying to create the opening. And I like the mix-in of down tilt. First time we've really seen it all set to just get you a little uncomfortable in shield, right? You don't want that hit grab to come on through. And starting to find up smashes again. Lightning loops are a factor on the stage, but right now, Lil Dill, the question is, can they force a game 5, or is their winner's side bracket going to only be a memory?
Yep. The main thing about this stage, because I don't do scene, is this stage does have that low ceiling, the same ceiling height as PS2, meaning that up smash is going to be really effective once again. So you're going to have to watch out what happens when Grymlynn pulls out that up smash, or even those dash attacks there. And that nair is
that nair is so active. Ness, not only does Ness have big destroys, but just the hitboxes themselves are so active. They stay out forever. And a character like Pichu just doesn't have great tools to really contest.
It's not. And we're not seeing a lot of damage being put on the side of either one, honestly. It just feels like it's a lot of trades or one, like, it just keeps going back and forth in terms of who has that advantage that we're seeing. Because it's kind of hard to hit, let's be honest, it's hard to hit both these characters. So sometimes you just gotta pray that you can hit them. If your Pichu is awful, because you're praying that you can hit them is gonna lead to you taking more self-damage. You're gonna be whiffing a lot of your electric moves.
I like the down tilt there to reset after the neutral air, but just even though it was still confirmed, just not able to react and find an opening, getting reversals for it, and just the Volt Pack will just find a way back to stage there. The pressure is, they're managing to reset it, but they're not managing to reverse it, and it feels like we're just starting to see a little bit of the Grymlynn show as time winds down here on Final Day.
Yeah. That's awful for you if you're Pikachu. You have no hit, like even in general, the hitbox won't save if you're a Pikachu. It's just you're lingering through a little bit, and that move is big with all that charge, and it will explode you.
Your only option there is to go all the way around it and then flash fall back to ledge, but then Ness just gets the lineup.
Even then, yeah, because that move is rather lagless. Like they buffed it for some reason to give it as little lag as possible. That should be a huge punish, but
opting to just kind of instead play it safe, right? No need to risk your stock lead. Right, you might as well play it patient. The downside of playing not to lose, though, rather than to win, is that you give your opponent opportunities to find a reversal. This is Dill's chance, but just not able to close it out. Up throw, gonna find the Thunder, but it's gonna miss. And unlike Pikachu's, where you can continue to match the B button to have that Thunder hitbox come back out, you can't do that with Pichu, and so Lil Dill still able to clean it up, but taking a little bit extra damage to do so, and not where you want to be when you're in a last stock situation.
That's dead. And I'm wrong. But that does also mean you have a Pichu with a little bit of rage, which is kind of scary if you let him live. But it looks like Grymlynn right now is doing a really good job at doing that, getting around that. That was a really good uppy angle to get around that up smash. Unfortunately, can you do it again? No, you can't.
I like the get up attack idea, but the fact that it was instantaneous as Grymlynn just stopped their dash was like, okay, there is no option being selected here, which means when you push nothing, everything is on the